Good morning. Welcome to Lesson 1, Part 7. So, I want you to use one of the links on this page to download the latest version of the free PDF entitled First Set of Lesson Texts. That'll be great. So, in the previous portions of the first lesson, we explained the significance of page 1. And now we're on page 4. Today we're going to explore contemplative notation. So if you haven't already, open up the PDF to page 4. If you haven't, pause it. Do that now. I'll wait right here. Okay, so we're at page 4. And at the very top it says Lama's intellectual path to a Buddhist spiritual mastery. Below that, in black, it says Wisdom Training Verbal. Below that, in italics, it says Contrived Concentration. Below that, to the left, it says In-Breath in italicized 12-point font. And below that, it says In Tone, once again, in italicized 12-point font. When I was a kid, we moved. And I met a friend across the street who was about 3 years older than me. He was going to junior high. I was, of course, in 4th grade at this time, so I thought he was pretty awesome. And good old Rick took a band elective, or a music elective, in his junior high. And so they basically started him off assuming he couldn't even spell the word trumpet, no less play it. And the first month, they basically taught him the fingering, how to hold his trumpet, how to blow into his trumpet, and they taught him rudimentary musical notation. The basic idea was that within 6 months they would get him up to speed so that he'd be able to play virtually any non-virtuoso piece exclusively through musical notation. Musical notation is pretty awesome when you think about it. Without musical notation, there could be no quartet, no less a full philharmonic. So, contemplative notation is very similar. It instructs you what to do with your mind and your emotions during the in-breath and during the out-breath. And its intention is to speed up your spiritual progress. There are many, many teachers who delight in making it just as difficult for their students as possible. When I was a kid, I guess when I was in junior high myself, I decided it would be awfully cool to learn how to play the guitar. So I found a friend of mine who could play the guitar. Sadly, he was not a natural-born teacher. He was a natural-born show-off. He wasn't really interested in helping me learn how to play the guitar. He was interested in making me feel overwhelmed and making me feel impressed with him. Needless to say, a great teacher, he was not. We see that a lot. One of the things that makes me a radical teacher is I start people off, and within the first quarter, they've learned a ton of practical techniques as rapidly as our little brains can assimilate it. The key to this is contemplative notation. So, looking back at our example of contemplative notation on page 4, for the first exercise entitled Contrived Concentration, we see in-breath. Below that we see the word in tone. So what that tells you is that after it says in-breath, and then there's a colon, and then there's a couple spaces, and then there's a phrase. So what that tells you is during the in-breath, mentally, silently, repeat the phrase that follows. Below that it says in tone to the left, followed by a colon. What that means is, okay, during the out-breath, intone whatever comes to the right of the colon, whatever comes next. The actual in-breath we're going to explore in our next lesson. Right now, I just want you to get the idea down that contemplative notation is huge. And if if used properly, can help you to shave decades off of your spiritual journey. And that's it. That's all you get today. I thank you for your time and your kind attention. Before you go, I want to remind you to find the subscribe button, give that a click, then move your cursor and put it back. Hover it over the subscribe button, and another box will appear that'll give you the option to request to be notified by email every time I put up another video. I'd recommend that you do that. The next series of weekly webinars begins Thursday, the 6th of September. I'll see you there. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum.